we are, whether we are the Pope, the Dalai Lama, or whether we are a person experiencing some really heavy challenges in our life, that we can always have an upgrade, no matter how high your vibration is or how low your vibration is based on things you're going through in your life. It doesn't mean that that's who you are. And who you are is in your heart. It's in your home. We talked a bit about that last week, about coming back to your own unique vibration. And sometimes it's just tweaking things a little bit, just like when you're tuning in a radio, although most of us don't do that anymore, when you're looking for that station and you can't quite get it, and then you tune in, all of a sudden you hear what's going on that station. You're getting information that you had not tuned into before. And sometimes it's just a little tweak. And that's why I say no matter where you are, you can benefit from upgrading your vibration. Even if I'm in the best of moods, you know what? I would like to go to even a higher mood, or I like to go in a place where I can now utilize that mood into creating something that was not present in the world before. So for me, my vision, my mission is all about leaving legacy behind. Hopefully, long after I'm gone, people will still listen to my music and be able to benefit from it. So what is it that you want to leave behind? Whether it's something for your children that's powerful or something for the world, start thinking about that in this moment. And I'm not going to talk too much longer. What I want to do is go into some live music, and it's based on the energy of the group. So I don't have any preconceived notion of what I'm going to be playing today. I just want to tap into your energy and just gently place your hands on your heart. Allow yourself to go inward. Take a big breath in and let a sigh out. So when we release that audible sigh out, it's what I call a soul sound. We're telling our physical body that everything's going to be okay, no matter what's going on in your life. So another big breath in. Let that sigh out. And I'm just going to open up the space that you are safe. You are in a sacred, beautiful place with people all around the world supporting you and you supporting them. And just close your eyes. Allow yourself to go inward and receive. Beautiful. And just give yourself a big breath in through the heart. Big breath out through the heart. Just coming back home to you. So each of you who are with me were part of that composition. Each of you were a part of the harmonics, part of the intention. And music creates a vibratory field where all of our emotions are now embedded in that piece of music. So I invite you to come back to the replay for that and take a listen, because your energy is in there. And even the people who will be listening who are not here, their energy is in there as well, because we were setting the intention of this group coming together to create this. And for me, during that process, I actually felt the energy of my mom come in. My mom passed a while ago now, over 5 years ago. I lose track of how long she had passed. But when I was holding those notes, and it's really the space in between the notes, I thought of my mom, because as a young child, I was probably around 3 years old or 4 years old. I remember sitting by the piano with my mom, and literally my mom taking my fingers over the keys as she sang the song Yellow Bird by Harry Belafonte. And I remember hearing the notes and hearing her voice, and I was in wonder of how her notes matched the notes on the piano, which I now know to be what's called resonance, when one note magnifies the other. But I think I was really in awe of how the notes hung in the air and the space between those notes. And that became really part of my signature as I moved to compose this type of music, which I actually had no idea I would be doing this type of music. When people ask me what type of music I listened to as a kid, I grew up in the Bronx in New York City, and it was a very diverse area with many, many different cultures. So we used to, each of us, make our mixed tapes. This is going way back, even before CDs. We had these things called boom boxes, right, that we held on our shoulders, and each one of us had our mixed tapes, and we all would create a half an hour's worth of music and share them with each other. And at the time, we weren't calling them playlists, but I think it was really my first interaction with how music could be used to navigate energy. Because I saw friends of mine who, were going through really challenging situations in their homes, parents who were alcoholics or brothers and sisters that were in gangs. And when they played their half hour's worth of music, I would watch something shift in them and moving out of being a victim to their conditions or imprisoned by their thoughts and moving to more expansive states. And now we really have the technology to do this so much more more easily than we did back then, because we don't have to create tapes. We just go onto Spotify and we create these playlists. So my question to all of you is, are you using music in this way? When you're hitting a challenge in your life, are you plugging in playlists? Are you looking to move from one state to another? Because I think you can see it doesn't take long. In 10 minutes, hopefully you were able to shift into a more expansive state. So let's continue with that expansive state as we move forward. And I'm going to take you through a guided meditation that works with quieting the mind. And that's a kind of subtopic today, and a tag is about quieting the mind. And there's lots of ways to do that with music, sound, and vibration. Through guided meditation is one of them, but we can also do that through chanting and toning, which we are going to do a little bit later. So if you're just coming in, stay with us, because there's still a lot more vibrational tools that I'll be sharing with all of you. But let's see if we can really move and get another vibrational upgrade going now that we're feeling more home in our hearts. We're feeling safer. We're feeling like a little bit more of ourselves. How can we move into bringing more energy in that can help us in our lives? And really the key is by cleaning out our energetic closet. So a lot of us, just like our closets, you may have a bowling ball from 20 years ago, or a cheerleader's, uniform that that you're hoping to fit back into. And, I have all these things in my closet. And when I clean things out, I notice that I have new room to bring in new wardrobe, or a new hobby, or something that I want to reconnect with that I find in there. So let's clean a little bit of energy out in this process. And let's just start off again by going inward, closing your eyes and placing your hands on your heart. This is our home base. This is our center. The center of our energy centers as well is the heart chakra, or energy center, which is the giving and receiving of love. So just tap into that, breathe into your heart, breathe out to your heart. And I will start the music in a moment. Just allow yourself to keep going in and out of your heart until the music comes on. And just take a moment now to give yourself a breath. Instead of taking a breath, give yourself a breath. And bring that breath all the way in through your heart. And release the breath. See if you can find any area on your body that feels like it's tight, or that you're holding stress in. So just scan your body as you bring your breath in. And on the out breath, send the breath to that area. Just relaxing yourself, getting a little bit lighter. And as your heart moves into a more relaxed state, you may notice that your surroundings begin to fade away. And envision yourself in the middle of a beautiful and pure white room. There's nothing in this room. There's no furniture in the room. It's just you sitting in the middle of this room, in this pure, sacred space. And you do notice that there are 2 windows in this room. Both of them are open. And you can feel a beautiful breeze gently caressing your face. And just feel that. Now, one of these windows will be to bring in energy, and one of these windows will be to send energy out of. So any thoughts that are cycling through your brain, I want you to just bring a deep breath in and send it out, that open window. Let the breeze carry your thoughts out. And just continue that process for a moment. Any thoughts that you have, don't judge them, just gently exhale them out that window. And just feeling yourself in this beautiful, pure white room. You see sparkles of sunlight coming through the other window, bringing in new energy. So just bring a breath in, bringing that in from the second window. The essence of new energy. And just breathe it gently out into your heart. Allow it to rejuvenate you. And take a few moments to continue this process. You might be getting guidance or information that are part of how you may move forward in a more powerful way. So just give yourself a few moments to bring in any guidance you may want to receive. The purity of this room allows you to come back to the purity of your heart, the center of all you are, the essence of giving and receiving love in perfect balance. With your hands on your heart, just allow yourself to feel your own unique vibration. And as your breath moves in and out, visualize a beautiful figure 8. You're fanning the flames in your heart. And this figure 8 is balancing the energy the giving and receiving of love. Breathe into your heart. Send that energy into the figure 8. And on the next breath in, I want you to bring it into your heart and send out love to someone on this broadcast with us. Someone you don't know, just send them love. Give yourself a big breath in and send out that love. And then on the next breath in, I want you to receive the love that someone is sending to you. Big breath in and receive it in your heart. Let's do that one more time, creating a beautiful circle of love. Sending the breath out through the first window, beautiful open window, sending your energy of love out to a person, and it could be a different person this time. Bring that breath in and send it out to them. And through the other window, receive the love that someone is sending you. Big breath in and receive it in your heart. And just feel the energy now in this room. Feel that energy of love in perfect balance, of giving and receiving, of creating restoration and regeneration. And just feel it in your heart. No matter what goes on in your day, you are never far from home. And there's always love and an unlimited field that we are able to tap into. But when we come together in a unified energy and we create intention together, it's even more powerful. And that's what these circles and Facebook Lives are about, bringing in community, bringing in a tribe where you feel safe to come into and safe to explore how music, sound, and vibration can be beneficial for you. And then take that into your life, because it's always about how we are applying it and utilizing many sound tools that have woven from thousands and thousands of years. And as we tap into that energy, I just want to talk a little bit about the power of chanting and how chanting can be used to move out of mind chatter, to move out of negative thought patterns, and how it can be used to help others as well. And I'm going to share a story with you that is very intimate. And I don't usually share this story in public, but because of the safety and sacredness that's around me as well, that you have just created, I'm going to share it with you. And it's about my dad and really the energy behind my dad's passing. So when my dad was passing in his last day, I found myself in his hospital room with him alone. And I remember thinking, this is the first time that I've been alone with my dad since his battle with cancer began, which was probably a year or so before that. And my sister and my mom were really in the trenches with my dad, handling the day-to-day physical challenges and things that had to be done. And they were female warriors in making sure that he was taken care of. And part of my role was to support that energy and to also give insights of things that sometimes you don't see when you're in the trenches. And so it was this kind of balance of everyone doing what their purpose was on a soul level. And I'm not sure if any of you have experienced that, someone close in your family passing, but we all take on different roles. And it's not just the healing for the person who has the challenge physically, but it's also a healing of family coming together as well. And I saw that happen with my family during this process. And on this particular day, as I said, I was alone with my dad, and they were about to call hospice in the next day. And my dad always made it really clear that he didn't want hospice. So it wasn't a surprise to me that we were kind of coming down to the wire with my dad passing and transitioning. And I can tell that he was in a state of fear. And he was having a hard time being cognizant with me being there. His eyes were moving around a lot. And I decided that I was going to close my eyes and I was going to go inward. And so when I did this, I went inward and I closed my eyes, put my hands on my heart, and I just really asked for guidance. And when I asked for guidance, I heard a voice that said, "Sing to him." And so I asked, well, what do you want me to sing? And I kind of felt silly doing it, to be honest with you, because my dad was very much not into the spiritual aspects of music, sound, and vibration, so to speak. He was brought up in a different world, and it was a little bit woo for him. So that request kind of put me in my thinking mind. So I asked again, hoping for another answer, but I didn't get another answer, of course. The same answer was sing to him. And I remember just walking over to my dad, and I was guided to place my hand on the top of my dad's head. And I didn't really feel a lot of energy or warmth there. As I placed my hand on his head, I just started to chant the sound of Om. Now, I knew the history of Om, that all sounds in the universe were within the sound of Om, that it contained the essence of past, present, and future. And I knew that it was beneficial spiritually, but I never thought that I would be with my hand on top of my dad's head, literally as he was coming close to passing, and singing Om for him. And I remember just bringing my breath in and sending it to my hand that was on his head and going, Om. And even as I do it now, I can feel it vibrating from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head. And when I opened my eyes, my dad was staring right at me. His eyes were not rolling. He was just looking at me, eye to eye. And I can tell that he was more present, more cognizant. And I said, Dad, you don't have to talk, but if you're hearing me, just gently squeeze my hand. And he did. And I knew that he was able to hear me and have a conversation. And I was able to tell him how much I loved him and how much he meant to me, how much I appreciate all that he had done for me in my life. And I can feel the energy on the top of his head. I can feel now a warmth coming from the top of his head. And I can feel that his crown chakra was opening up. And the crown chakra is a bridge between our physical body and our ethereal body. And in some way, I believe that chanting Om assisted him in opening his energy centers, so he had a smoother transition. Because later that evening, my dad passed over. And that was the last conversation that I had with him. And I just felt so honored to be there with him. And later on, as I delved more into researching why Om was so beneficial in creating a more peaceful state, and I was writing my book, and I was beginning to lecture in front of doctors. And my wife asked me, what do you want to present to these groups? And I said, I want to bring this knowledge forward into the medical field of how chanting Om can be helpful. And so we found a study that explored two different groups. One group was chanting S, and the other group was chanting the Om. And both of them were studied through fMRI studies, so by actually physically looking at the brain. And what they saw was that the group that chanted S had absolutely no benefit from utilizing that syllable of S. And the group that chanted Om created what's called limbic deactivation. And that is when our part of the mind, the limbic system, can actually be deactivated, is when we experience a sense of inner peace by chanting Om. So it's amazing how science catches up with spirituality. I didn't need to know that to perform what I did with my dad, but that really brought it in for me that when I was chanting that, he was moving to that peaceful state, because that sound of Om actually affects our physical brain and can bring us into a more peaceful state. And there's science behind it now. So when I went to speak to a medical group of over 200 doctors, I shared some of the research behind chanting Om, and I asked them if they would be willing to perform a chant with me that I created called Om Shalom Home. So Om Shalom Home moves different cultures together because the sound of Om weaves through many different cultures. It's a seed syllable. So Om comes from Sanskrit. Shalom comes from the Hebrew language. And Home comes from our language. So when you do this chant with me, we bring in the energy of the Om up through Mother Earth, all the way up to our heart. We bring the energy of Shalom in through our crown chakra, in through the top of our head to our heart, and then we bring the Shalom, the Home in through our heart, which Home is always in our heart. So I'll ask you, are you willing to do this chant with me? This is what I asked 200 doctors, which is just a beautiful, beautiful sight, and unbelievable to see this rippling out into modern medicine. But are you willing to bring in this energy with me to have another notch up on our energy together, bringing in all these countries from around the world, all these cultures to sing Om Shalom Home. And it's very simple. You can join in as soon as you hear the music start, and we'll be doing it for 5 to 10 minutes together. So really amping up that energy. So here we go. You can just place your hands on your heart. And if you want to move to this and stand up, you can do that as well, bringing the energy through your legs, then through the upper chakras, and then through your heart. So let us Om together. Om Shalom. Let's bring one together. Shalom. And just feel that vibration of everyone coming together in a unified state, of our hearts beating together, our voices singing together. And that each one of our voices makes a unique difference. That your voice, every day, whether you're singing Om or telling someone you love them, or your kindness of telling them that everything is going to be okay, your voice matters to someone in your life. And just bring that in. People don't always get a chance to say thank you. So I am saying thank you for everything that you share in the world. Just allow yourself to receive that gratitude. That you are heard, you are acknowledged, and you are appreciated. And peace starts with each one of us. To bring peace into the world, we need to bring peace into our world. We have our own unique planets. Each one of us are on our own planet every day. I'm sure you experience that. So starting in a more peaceful place, in using these sound tools every day to center yourself so that you can bring your energy and your peace into the world. So with that, I'm going to ask Tarna to play a video called The Breath of Peace that has the lyrics on the video so that we can all sing it together. And we can take this energy that we've created here together, where we have birthed something from nothing, where we have literally sparked and brought something into being today, that we could send that energy out into the world. We are the breath of peace. We are the heartbeat of oneness. And I'm going to share this with you, and then we'll come back to finish up. So Tarna, if you can share the breath of peace. We are the breath of peace. We are the heartbeat of oneness. We are the breath of peace. And we thank you for this breath. And we thank you for this heartbeat. feeling that energy of all of us coming together and being able to send the energy out that we created here out into the world and give our earth a vibrational upgrade as we receive a vibrational upgrade today. Thank you again for joining me, and reach out and say hello. I love connecting with all of you and sending my love from my heart to yours out. So many blessings to all of you.